Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Scott, Skidz, Alford.
Videos nowadays, everybody has their own video collection of what they've done in the bedroom. They're sending pictures. They were sending videos that weren't me to my employer, to my 25-year-old son, who had little kids who hold on to these phones because it keeps them busy, and at any minute it could just pop on the phone. That was where I drew the line, and I was not going to ignore it anymore. I got this girl on the phone, the friend, and said, "Listen, knock it off. You don't want the kind of problems I can bring to the table. I get what you were doing for your friend. You look at her like a paycheck, and I get it. Enjoy it. But leave me the f alone, because it's the last thing on the planet you want to do. And you antagonize or send anything to any family member of mine. There's not a judicial organization that's going to hand me a piece of paper that's going to stop me from protecting my family any day ever. And I don't give a f if they bury me under a prison. I will be there, and I'll sleep soundly every night knowing I defended my family and I protected them." And that's exactly where my headset was with it. So New Year's Eve came and New Year's Eve went, and my son gets another video. And he's like, "Dad, don't worry about it, shake it off." And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to shake it off, all right." At the time, me and my number one guy who rides with me for the reasons of protection, he's legal in all areas of protection, where me being an ex-felon, I have to rely on the protection of somebody sitting close to me with 3 guns, if you understand what I'm saying there. He rode with me. We worked at the same commercial paving outfit. He rode with me in the car. I went to this woman's place of business. I parked the car and him probably 50 yards away from the business. I said, "This has nothing to do with you. I'm going to go have a conversation with this girl that she can understand, and I'll be right back." I opened the storm door. It was like they rent out nurses to watch your parents when they get older, like a home care place. And when a business takes over a regular residential house, they were doing that. So I went to the back door of this house. I pulled open the storm door, and this woman was sitting at the very first desk. So I never had a reason to enter the building. I looked at her. She was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing at my office?" I said, "You stupid. I get one more text message to my phone about how tough you are. You're not a text message tough guy. You're not a tough guy. Get out of the business of being tough and being threatening, because I specialize in it, and I will change the way you walk through life. Stop sending pornography to my family and to my employer, or someone's going to get hurt," was the statement I made. She broke down in tears. This is a woman who has a permit to carry. She never produced her firearm. I didn't even have a threatening stance. I was holding a storm door open the way you would argue with anybody. I then looked around the office and realized that, the people in the office were frightened. I obviously had their full attention. I apologized to them for their interruption in the day. I said, "But your employee likes to send pornography to underage children and family members to get her way." And everyone shook their head at me, and I said, "I apologize for the interruption. Enjoy the rest of your day." And I gently closed the door and I walked off. And I thought of the things that I could have done. I thought I handled it very well. I wouldn't be surprised if anyone didn't handle that situation. If it was me who sent it to you, I would expect you to visit me very quickly. I would never do that, but that's where I'm at with it. So I shook it off. She waited 2 days, talked to my ex, Brittany, and they came up with a plan. And that was, here's the story that we're going to tell. Call this cop friend of mine, and we'll tell him he went in the office, he pointed a gun at you, he said he you, all these other things. So this police department charged me with gun possession and simple assault and harassment. They wanted me to come in, turn myself in for it. It was like all misdemeanor.
So they already put a warrant for you
Yeah,
for possession of a firearm.
possession of a firearm, 3 different counts of it: unlicensed ownership of a gun, unlicensed weapon, and then felon in possession of a firearm, as well as aggravated assault. They never interviewed anyone else in the building because they waited 2 days and then hooked up with this cop. And this is not the cop who was the problem in my case. This is just a municipal cop who just did whatever, 2 girls asked him to do. Never investigated a thing. When Brittany and I split up, we had gotten PFAs. And after Brittany got her PFA, which is a protection from abuse order, if anybody doesn't know what that is, I had 1,800 incoming emails from her to me.
Wow.
Following her protection order. And there's a lot of girls out there that do this. They get a protection order and then they're inviting you over. I had voicemail after voicemail. Just come over, spend the night. I wasn't falling for none of it. I didn't even open half the emails she sent me, nor did I respond to them because I knew it was a setup. And it wasn't. It was just a mental girl out of control. I gave these to this cop. I forwarded them to him. Here, do what you want with it. This girl by no means needs protection from me. She's reaching out for me every 5 minutes. Oh, well, we'll talk about that after we arrest you. All right, well, then you're going to wait a long time because you're not going to arrest me at any time. And that much was going to be a fact. This is a police department up here that has like 6 cops. They've been taken over by the feds. They've had their judge fired. They're a nightmare. They're a step above mall cops in a very small town. So we paid them no mind. I know I got this domestic warrant, and I could care less. I don't worry about it. The Philadelphia police are the type of guys that pull up next to you and you got a warrant at a okay, you're aware of it. All right, just letting you know so you don't leave. Be careful if you go to Jersey or something. They might pick you up for it. It was a joke.
Yeah.
A month goes by. We're into February. I'm not getting really any contact from them, and I'm happy about it. And I find out that the witnesses in that office provided statements that at no time did I produce a firearm. At no time did I threaten anyone. They thought, they said he was an angry guy. He's got a lot of muscles. He used a lot of bad words, a lot of tattoos. He's definitely had our full attention, but his attention was on this woman, Gina. And from what we understood from the conversation, it was warranted. She shouldn't have done that. And we figured that was the end of it when he left because she never called 911. You're in fear for your life from a 6'4", 280-pound steroid-eating pagan who just came in your office and put a gun to your head. And you never thought to call 911. You waited 2 days to make a planned, rehearsed police
That
report.
doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. No.
Not even. She says in her probable cause affidavit, it was a Sig Sauer 9mm with a blue handle and black barrel. That's a pretty descriptive gun description for a girl who was terrified. It definitely was not any firearm I've ever owned. And I'll get to that in a second. It's where the case started showing signs of becoming nothing. They put her, I'm getting ahead of myself. So,
but yeah, you don't turn yourself in yet, right? You're still on the street.
No, I will never turn myself in under any circumstances. I've never been to court not in shackles. I've never elected or placed any of these people in charge of security of my life, so they will at no point, unless by through means of force, ever take control of me, and they know that up front. They usually call. They call and they try to nicely talk me into showing up for different things. But so I'm riding around. I'm living my life. I'm doing my job. And I had to pick someone up on Route 13 and Edgeley Road in the Levittown area of Bucks County at a bar. It was a girlfriend of mine who had borrowed a bartender's truck, and she had to return the truck at 2 a.m. And would I meet her there and scoop her up in my car? And I said, absolutely, I will. That night I was at a local bar with my son and his best friend. We were watching, I believe, the Sixers were on TV, and I had one bottle of alcohol, Miller Lite, and excused myself from the bar, said goodnight to my son, got in my car to go meet this girl, and the key would not turn in the ignition. I don't know if you've ever had the similar problem. You got to shake the wheel and turn the key. Well,
Yeah,
it
it's
wasn't working.
locked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pain in the ass, and it finally seized all the way up, and I couldn't turn the key. So I'm like, man, me. I get my son to drive me home, and I said, you know what? I'll take my fat boy. It's warm out. She loves the bike. She'll be cool with it. I head up to this bar. I'm waiting for her. She don't come. I'm waiting for her. She don't come. And then she shoots a text message to the bartender. Tell him to go ahead. I'm going to be late, and you can drive me back to his house. Okay, that's great. Great news for me because I'm not one for sitting in a bar waiting for anything but trouble. I jump on my bike. I get out on the Route 13. There is no traffic for over a mile. It's a straightaway. I look up. There's nothing coming. I quickly there's a break in the concrete median there, or wiffle ball bat things that they have sticking up, and I make what I know for a fact is an illegal U-turn, but we do it on the daily out of there, and so do the cops, and so does every other buddy that lives in that area because you can do it. I swing the turn, and as I swing the turn, headlights will come on behind me. A siren sounds, and a state police trooper is out the passenger side window with an AR rifle pointed at me.